The harsh fluorescent lights of the new Atlanta spaceport hummed overhead as June Park adjusted his worn leather jacket, his eyes scanning the gleaming showroom of Stellar Wheels Intergalactic Rentals. Something felt off. The sleek alien representatives moved with calculated precision, their iridescent skin reflecting the artificial light like polished chrome. June wasn't just another customer. As an aerospace systems analyst with 15 years of experience, he had an eye for details that most people would miss. Today, he was here to rent a quantum drive exploration vehicle for a routine planetary survey mission. The rental process seemed smooth, almost too perfect. The Lumerian sales representative, a tall, slender being with translucent blue skin, smiled with practiced efficiency. "Mr. Park, our latest Quantum Drive X9000 model is perfect for your expedition," the alien said, its voice a melodic blend of electronic and organic tones. But June's trained eye caught something peculiar. A microscopic circuit pattern on the vehicle's control panel seemed slightly misaligned. Most humans would never notice, but to him, it was like a glaring warning sign. He requested a full diagnostic scan, much to the sales representative's visible discomfort. The machine hummed, lights blinking in rapid sequence. June watched carefully, his fingers moving across the diagnostic interface with practiced speed. The results were subtle but damning. Hidden within the vehicle's complex systems were adaptive algorithms that would systematically reduce performance for human operators. It wasn't an obvious flaw. It was an engineered disadvantage so carefully designed that it would appear like normal technological variants to most renters. "Interesting," June muttered, his mind already calculating the implications. The Lumerian representative's smile became slightly rigid. "Is everything satisfactory, Mr. Park?" June knew this was more than just a simple rental issue. This was a systematic pattern of technological discrimination that likely extended across multiple planetary jurisdictions. Each subtle modification would increase rental costs, reduce vehicle efficiency, and gradually drain human customers' resources. He remembered stories from his grandfather about historical discrimination, how certain groups were systematically disadvantaged through complex, seemingly neutral systems. This felt frighteningly similar, just transported to an interstellar context. The diagnostic data was compelling. Microscopic firmware alterations that would cause approximately 37% more mechanical issues for human operators. Adaptive algorithms that would subtly increase fuel consumption. Hidden contractual clauses that reduced compensation for vehicle malfunctions. This wasn't just a technical glitch, this was deliberate. June's mind raced. He could already see the potential legal strategy forming. Years of analytical training had taught him that the most powerful weapon against complex systemic problems was detailed, methodical documentation. "I'll need a complete system report," he told the Lumerian, his voice calm but firm. The alien's eyes flickered, a micro-expression of concern quickly masked by professional courtesy. "Certainly, Mr. Park. Would you like to complete the rental process?" June smiled. Not yet. This was just the beginning of a much larger investigation. As he walked out of the showroom, the quantum drive vehicles gleaming around him like silent, technological predators, he knew he had stumbled upon something significant. The rental company thought they were clever, implementing discrimination so subtly that it would be nearly impossible to prove. They were wrong, and June Park was about to show them exactly how wrong they could be. The first step of any complex challenge was understanding the entire system, and he was very, very good at understanding systems. Outside, the new Atlanta skyline stretched before him, a mix of human architectural designs and alien technological influences. Gleaming towers that represented humanity's expansion into the stars, now potentially hiding complex layers of technological manipulation. June pulled out his personal communication device, his fingers already beginning to compile the initial evidence. This was going to be interesting. The small office buzzed with quiet intensity as June spread his initial findings across the holographic display. Hannah Kim, a quantum legal AI specialist, studied the data with sharp, concentrated eyes. Her fingers danced across multiple translucent screens, filtering and analyzing each microscopic piece of evidence. "These aren't random errors," Hannah said, her voice steady and professional. "This looks like a carefully designed system of technological sabotage." June nodded, understanding the complexity of what they had discovered. Each piece of data revealed another layer of the rental company's sophisticated manipulation. The algorithms were so precisely crafted that they would appear as normal technological variations to most observers. They worked through the night, consuming endless cups of synthetic coffee and energy supplements. The office's environmental controls hummed softly, maintaining a perfect working temperature. Outside the window, New Atlantis' skyline glimmered with holographic advertisements and moving starship silhouettes. Hannah's quantum AI system began correlating data from hundreds of previous rental records. Patterns emerged, subtle but consistent. Human renters consistently experienced 37% more mechanical issues. Fuel consumption rates were mysteriously higher. Compensation claims were systematically reduced through complex legal language. "We need documentation," June muttered, zooming into microscopic circuit designs. "Hard evidence that demonstrates intentional design." The quantum AI began reconstructing potential legal arguments. Each simulation showed how the rental company had created a system that looked neutral on the surface, but fundamentally disadvantaged human customers. Hannah discovered something even more interesting. The discrimination wasn't limited to their local planetary jurisdiction. Preliminary data suggested this was a widespread practice across multiple star systems. The rental company had created a sophisticated network of technological manipulation. They turned discrimination into a mathematical algorithm, Hannah observed, her fingers tracing complex data patterns. "It's almost beautiful in its complexity." June understood the implications immediately. This wasn't just about a single rental company. This was about a systematic approach to exploiting human customers across interstellar markets. Their strategy would require precision. They couldn't just show individual instances of fraud. They needed to demonstrate a comprehensive, deliberate pattern of technological and legal manipulation. The quantum AI began generating potential legal arguments, each more sophisticated than the last. Complex mathematical models showed how the rental company's algorithms consistently created financial disadvantages for human operators. Hours passed. The office remained silent except for the soft humming of computer systems and occasional murmured discussions between June and Hannah. They were building something unprecedented, a legal case that would challenge fundamental intergalactic commercial practices. By dawn, they had compiled an impressive collection of evidence. Mathematical models, circuit design analyses, rental record comparisons. Each piece told part of a larger story of systematic discrimination. "We're ready," Hannah said finally, her eyes reflecting the holographic displays. "This isn't just a lawsuit. This is a challenge to an entire system of technological manipulation." June looked at the data, a small smile forming. The rental company thought they were clever. They had no idea what was coming. The first hearing was scheduled. The quantum AI had already prepared multiple argument strategies. Their documentation was precise, their evidence overwhelming. Outside, the first sunlight of a new day began spreading across New Atlantis' technological landscape. Another day was beginning. And with it, a legal challenge that would change everything. June knew this was more than a personal mission. This was about protecting not just individual human customers, but establishing a fundamental principle of fairness in an increasingly complex interstellar marketplace. The quantum AI continued processing, each calculation bringing them closer to their goal. Justice wasn't just about winning. It was about revealing the truth, no matter how complex or well hidden. And they were very, very good at revealing hidden truths. The massive circular chamber of the Galactic Tribunal hummed with anticipation. Holographic displays flickered, casting ethereal blue light across rows of alien representatives from dozens of star systems. June Park stood at the central platform, his simple black suit a stark contrast to the elaborate ceremonial robes of the alien judiciary. Hannah Kim sat behind him, Her quantum AI system silently processing potential counterarguments in real time. The air felt thick with tension, electric with the potential of what was about to unfold. The chief judicial representative, a towering crystalline being named Vornak, spoke first. Presenter Park, you claim systematic discrimination by Stellar Wheels Intergalactic Rentals. Present your evidence. June's hands remained steady as he activated the holographic projection. Microscopic circuit designs materialized in the air, rotating slowly. Each design told a story of carefully engineered technological manipulation. These aren't accidents, Jim explained, his voice calm and precise. These are deliberate algorithmic modifications designed to create financial disadvantages for human customers. A holographic display began showing comparative data, rental performance metrics, fuel consumption rates, mechanical failure frequencies. Each graph told a devastating story of systematic discrimination. Alien representatives leaned forward, their various sensory organs focusing intently. Some looked intrigued, others appeared uncomfortable. The Stellar Wheels legal representative, a serpentine creature with metallic scales, attempted interruption. These are standard technological variations, nothing more. Hannah's quantum AI immediately generated a statistical rebuttal, displaying probability models that demonstrated the impossibility of such variations being random. June continued, methodically breaking down each layer of manipulation. Complex legal language, adaptive firmware, subtle contractual traps. Each element was designed to extract maximum financial benefit from human customers. Vornak's crystalline form shifted, processing the information. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, Presenter Park. Precisely why I've brought comprehensive documentation, June responded. The quantum AI began projecting historical rental records, hundreds of thousands of transactions, analyzed with mathematical precision. The patterns were undeniable. A systematic approach to technological and legal discrimination that spanned multiple planetary jurisdictions. One by one, the alien representatives realized this wasn't just about a single rental company. This was about a fundamental approach to interstellar commerce that had gone unchallenged for generations. The Stellar Wheels representative became increasingly agitated. Metallic scales rippled with nervous energy. Their carefully constructed facade of neutrality was crumbling. Hannah's quantum AI continued generating real-time counterarguments, blocking every attempted legal maneuver by the defense. It was like watching a complex, high-stakes chess match where each move was calculated milliseconds in advance. Hours passed. The holographic displays continued presenting evidence, mathematical models, circuit design analyses, legal document comparisons. Each piece told a story of deliberate, systematic exploitation. Vornak's crystalline form remained motionless, processing the overwhelming evidence. The other judicial representatives whispered among themselves, their various alien languages creating a soft, incomprehensible background noise. As the presentation concluded, a profound silence descended upon the chamber. The implications were clear. This wasn't just a lawsuit. This was a challenge to an entire system of interstellar commercial practices. June stood quietly, waiting. He knew the verdict was coming. Not just a judgment about a rental company, but a statement about fundamental principles of fairness and justice. The quantum AI beside Hannah continued processing, its complex algorithms already anticipating potential outcomes. This was more than a legal battle. This was a moment that could reshape interstellar commercial regulations. Outside the tribunal chamber, the vast cosmic landscape continued its silent, eternal dance. Stars burned, planets turned, and in this moment, a small group of humans were changing the fundamental rules of an entire galactic marketplace. The tribunal's deliberation chamber buzzed with an unusual energy. Alien representatives from multiple star systems whispered among themselves, their translator devices creating a soft electronic background noise. Jim Park sat quietly, his hands folded on the smooth metallic table, waiting. Vornak, The crystalline judicial representative appeared first. Something in the being's movement suggested more than a standard procedural announcement. Hannah Kim noticed the subtle changes in atmospheric pressure, a sign that something significant was about to happen. Presenter Park, Vornak began. Your evidence has revealed something far beyond a simple rental company dispute. The holographic displays suddenly came alive with a complex network of interconnected corporate relationships. What started as a case about a rental company had unexpectedly transformed into an investigation of massive interstellar corporate manipulation. Hidden deep within the data were connections that no one had previously discovered. The rental company wasn't just exploiting human customers. They were part of a larger network of corporations that had been systematically manipulating economic systems across multiple planetary jurisdictions. June's quantum AI began rapid-fire analysis. Each connection revealed another layer of complexity. Economic algorithms designed to create subtle disadvantages for emerging civilizations. Technological frameworks that limited economic growth for specific populations. "This is bigger than we thought," Hannah whispered, her fingers dancing across the quantum interface. The tribunal chamber transformed. What began as a hearing about a rental company had become an investigation into systematic economic manipulation that spanned entire star systems. Alien representatives from different civilizations looked increasingly uncomfortable. Microscopic evidence showed how these corporations had been designing complex systems that appeared neutral but consistently created economic barriers. It wasn't just about cars or rentals. It was about controlling economic opportunities across entire civilizations. Vornak's crystalline form shifted, reflecting the holographic data. Your evidence suggests a pattern of manipulation that extends far beyond initial expectations. June understood the magnitude of their discovery. They hadn't just found a problem with a rental company. They had uncovered a fundamental approach to economic control that had existed for generations. The quantum AI continued processing, revealing connections that no one had previously seen. Economic algorithms, technological design patterns, subtle legal frameworks. Each piece told a story of sophisticated, long-term manipulation. Alien representatives from different star systems began requesting additional information. What started as a focused legal hearing was transforming into a comprehensive investigation of interstellar economic practices. Hannah's system began cross-referencing historical economic data. Patterns emerged that suggested this wasn't a recent development. These manipulation techniques had been refined over centuries, creating economic barriers so subtle that most civilizations wouldn't notice. "We found something significant," Jum said quietly, watching the holographic displays dance with complex data patterns. The tribunal chamber felt different now. The initial tension had transformed into a sense of profound discovery. They weren't just discussing a rental company. They were uncovering a fundamental approach to economic control that had existed across multiple star systems. Vornak's voice cut through the background noise. "Presenter Park, your evidence suggests a systematic approach to economic manipulation that requires immediate, comprehensive investigation." Each alien representative now understood the true significance of June and Hannah's work. This was more than a legal case. This was a fundamental challenge to existing interstellar economic practices. The quantum AI continued its relentless analysis, each calculation revealing another layer of complexity. Mathematical models showed how these corporations had created economic systems that appeared neutral but consistently created barriers for specific populations. Outside the tribunal chamber, the cosmic landscape remained unchanged. Stars continued their eternal dance. Planets turned in their orbits, but inside this room, something fundamental was shifting. June looked at Hannah. They both understood. This was no longer just about a rental company. This was about challenging an entire system of economic manipulation that had existed for generations. The unexpected breakthrough had transformed everything. The final verdict echoed through the massive tribunal chamber like a thunderclap of cosmic justice. Vornak's crystalline form pulsed with an intensity that suggested something monumental was about to happen. Stellar Wheels Intergalactic Rentals is found guilty of systematic economic manipulation. the judicial representative announced. The words hung in the air, transforming the entire legal landscape of interstellar commerce. June Park stood quietly, understanding that this moment was bigger than a single lawsuit. Hannah Kim's quantum AI system calculated the potential implications. This verdict would reshape economic regulations across multiple star systems. The punishment was comprehensive: complete financial restitution to all human clients, mandatory transparency in all alien corporate contracts, establishment of an independent interstellar consumer protection framework that would monitor corporate practices across planetary jurisdictions. Alien representatives from different star systems watched in stunned silence. What had begun as a simple rental car dispute had exposed a complex network of systematic economic manipulation that had existed for generations. The tribunal's quantum documentation system began processing the verdict. Millions of corporate records would now be subject to unprecedented scrutiny. Hidden manipulation algorithms would be exposed and dismantled. This verdict establishes a new standard of economic fairness. Vornak declared, the crystalline being's voice resonating with mathematical precision. June understood the true significance. This wasn't just about a rental company. This was about protecting economic opportunities for emerging civilizations. Each line of the verdict represented a blow against systematic discrimination. Hannah's quantum AI continued processing, generating potential implementation strategies for the new economic regulations. Complex mathematical models showed how these changes would create more equitable commercial interactions across different star systems. The Stellar Wheel's legal representative, the serpentine creature with metallic scales, looked defeated. Their carefully constructed system of manipulation had been completely dismantled by precise human analytical skills. Outside the tribunal chamber, news of the verdict began spreading across communication networks. Humans on different planetary colonies celebrated. This was more than a legal victory. This was a statement about fundamental rights in an increasingly complex interstellar marketplace. Economic historians would later call this the Park verdict, a moment that fundamentally changed how interstellar commercial regulations were understood and implemented. The quantum AI beside Hannah generated a comprehensive report. Millions of data points told a story of systematic manipulation finally brought to light. Each calculation, each piece of evidence represented a step towards true economic fairness. June looked at Hannah. No words were necessary. They both understood what they had accomplished. A complex system of economic manipulation, carefully constructed over generations, had been completely dismantled. Vornak approached them, the crystalline beam's movement suggesting profound respect. Presenter Park, your evidence has changed everything, the judicial representative said. The tribunal chamber began to empty. Alien representatives from multiple star systems moved with a sense of profound transformation. The economic rules they had operated under for generations had just been rewritten. Hannah's quantum AI continued processing, generating potential future scenarios. Each calculation suggested a more equitable approach to interstellar commerce. The manipulation algorithms that had existed for generations were now exposed and vulnerable. As June and Hannah left the tribunal chamber, the cosmic landscape outside remained unchanged. Stars continued their eternal dance. Planets turned in their orbits, but something fundamental had shifted. They had challenged a system many thought was unchangeable, and they had won. The Park verdict would be remembered as a moment when human analytical skills and technological precision changed the fundamental rules of interstellar economic interactions. Justice, it seemed, knew no planetary boundaries.